Morning. The hour of 10:34 has arrived, and I'd like to call the Kane County public hearing of February 9th to order. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Allen,
Present.
Bates,
Present.
Berman,
Here.
Brown,
Here.
Davis,
Davis here.
Ford, Fraz,
Here.
Gums,
here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal present.
Kenyon,
Here.
Caius,
Caius present.
Kobe,
Opie here.
Leonard,
Leonard here.
Lewis,
Lewis here.
Martin,
Martin present.
Molina,
Molina present.
Sanchez,
Here.
Shepro,
Shepro present.
Silva. Silva, are you present? Strathman
here.
Surgis,
Burgess here.
Tepe,
Tepe here.
Weber,
Here.
and Winicky.
Winicky here.
You have a quorum.
We have a quorum indeed. Okay, thank you. We have the privilege of being able to say the Pledge of Allegiance twice during my meetings today. So I would like to ask our state's attorney to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
liberty.
with liberty and justice for all.
We are having a public meeting, and I'd like to convene the hearing for the purpose of, may I have a
Motion to open the public hearing, Madam Chair.
thank you, thank you.
This is your purpose. There you go.
If I may read the purpose. Receiving comment on the proposal to establish Big Timber Oak subdivision special area or special service area number SW-53 of Kane County, Illinois, and the levy of taxes for the purpose of paying the cost of providing special services in and for such area. And may I please have a second?
Second.
Sorry, please remind everybody to say their name first before you go ahead and, especially online and for people who are listening to us so they can hear everybody.
Fraz seconds.
Thank
And
you.
Shepro moved.
All right. Jody?
The Big Timber Oaks Special Service Area is located in Elgin, unincorporated Elgin Township on the south side of Big Timber Road. It is a two-lot industrial subdivision. Through our stormwater ordinance, they are required to establish a backup SSA in case they fail to maintain the stormwater facilities on that property. The owner has provided our department with a letter of no objection to this SSA.
Are there any comments or discussion?
Madam Chair, we needed to call the roll on that motion.
Oh, thank you very much. We have to call the roll on the motion. All right.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all good.
Allen,
Present.
this is on the motion to open the public hearing. We never called, so it's, I guess, aye or nay.
Okay.
Sorry. Allen, aye.
Thank you. Bates,
Aye.
Berman,
It's aye.
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fraz,
Yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kobe,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Yes.
Silva.
Can you hear Silva? Can you hear
Yes.
Silva?
Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
What is your vote?
Silva, yes.
Thank you. Strathman? Strathman? Surgis?
Strathman, yes.
Thank you. Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber? Winicky?
Yes.
Okay, your vote.
Thank
Hearing is
goodness.
open.
The hearing is open. Thank goodness for good staff. We'd be lost without you. So now, any discussion Hearing none?
Madam Chair,
Yes,
motion to close the public hearing.
Wonecki seconds.
thank you.
That was Shepro moving and forgetting again
Yes.
to tell who I am.
Close
And we do
it.
another vote, correct? May I,
Motion, yeah. I remember roll call, I'm sorry.
may we please have the roll call to close the meeting?
Ellen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Aye. Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fraz,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Opie,
Hope yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Sturgis,
Burgess, yes.
Pepe,
Debbie, yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Wonecki.
Wonecki, yes.
Passes.
Very good. So the motion, we are adjourned. Right? Very good.
Already open county board.
All right, so are we ready to open up the county board meeting? Well, that was a very long meeting, so now it is 11:40. 10:40, apologies, 10:40. And I'd like to call the meeting of the Kane County Board of February 9th, 2021, I'm sorry, to order. Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Okay. For the county board, roll call. Ellen,
Allen, present.
Bates,
Bates, present.
Berman,
Berman here.
Brown,
Here.
Davis. Davis for county board.
Davis here.
Thank you. Ford.
Here.
Fraz.
Here.
Gums,
Gums here.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, present.
Kenyon,
Here.
Caius,
Caius present.
Opie,
Present.
Leonard,
Leonard here.
Lewis,
Lewis, present.
Martin,
Martin, present.
Molina,
Molina, present.
Sanchez,
Here.
Shepro,
Shepro present.
Silva,
Silva here.
Strathman,
Strathman here.
Sturgis,
Burgess here.
Tepe,
Debbie here.
Weber, Wonecki.
Wonecki here.
You have a quorum.
Very good, thank you. And Mr. Kaios, it's time for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Mr. Kaios, could you please introduce the individual who's going to be giving the pledge?
Yes, Madam Chairman, I'd like to introduce, who are you again? Chris Allen, our interim executive facilities
Current
manager. Go
Executive
ahead.
Director of Building Management.
That's the big title. He's got the big title. I apologize for that, but thank you for doing this for us, Mr. Allen.
Problems. I pledge allegiance to the flag
The flag.
United States
United
of
States of
America
America.
and to the
And
republic
to the
Republic
for which
republic
it stands,
for which it
one
stands,
nation,
one nation,
under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty and justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
For all.
Thank you. Has anybody had a chance to see all the new flags? Can you scroll through them quickly again?
They're wonderful.
Yes.
There's 10 of them.
Look at that. They're phenomenal. Thank you very much. They're absolutely lovely. And once again, thank you to all the children and their parents and their teachers of Kane County for submitting flags. And please continue to submit them. They're absolutely a charming and important addition to our board meetings and very welcomed.
Madam
Children
Chairman, this
always
is
love
Alan.
Yes, yes. Miss Allen,
I-
yes.
I just wanted to say thanks to you and to the tech staff for having them scroll across the top of the page. It's just been charming to be able to see them when we come online. Thank you.
I agree. And everything that we do is move towards the future to protect our next generation and the generations next to come. So this is simply a representation of all of that effort and our continued effort. So now, may I please have the approval of the January?
I'm sorry, Madam Chairman.
Madam Chair.
Do we have a invocation?
Oh, my apologies, of course. My apologies, yes.
Thank you. I have the floor.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I see online, I have invited Jasveer Kaur, the religious secretary for the Sikh Religious Society of Palatine. I visited this facility a number of times for community events. I've always been very admired their friendly welcome and their community involvement as well. And I think I see Jasmeer. She's going to present a short. Are you there, Jasmeer?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for having me today. As Chris stated, I'm the religious secretary for Sikh Religious Society, which is located in Palatine, Illinois. It is the biggest Sikh Gurdwara, which is a church of the Sikh faith. And some of our members actually do reside in Kane County. So I'm honored to lead the meeting with a prayer and a message. So community service is at the heart. It's called Seva for the Sikh faith. Our founder had taught us to put humanity first before claiming to be anything else, and to recognize human race as one, so that we can have camaraderie in order to serve our communities more effectively. I'll begin and close a prayer with Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. This means the pure-hearted beings and victory belong to one God. Dear God, we are grateful for this gathering of Kane County leaders. Bisar gayi sab tat barai, japte saad sangat moy aaye, na ko bari nahi bigana, sagal sang humko banyai. Meaning, after spending time with spiritual leaders, I've lost the sense of us and them. I no longer see anyone as my enemy, nor do I regard others as strangers. I have found love and compassion towards everyone. Let us pray for community healing, understanding, and seeing the divine in every soul, because the spark of divinity lives within each and every one of us. Help us to look at each other's needs before our own, and to always be ready to serve those around us with the power of love within us. Let us serve our community with intention to have peace, justice, and compassion as we begin today's meeting. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for the lovely sentiments. Truly appreciate it. May I now move to the...
Yes, you may. Thank you for your...
No, thank you. May I now move for the approval of the January 12th, 2021 minutes? May I have a motion and a second to approve those minutes?
Strathman moves.
Thank you.
Winnicki seconds.
Winnicki, Board Member Winnicki seconds. Are there any comments or changes or thoughts on the minutes? Hearing none and having none online. Clerk, please call the roll.
Allen,
Aye.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fraz,
Yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Gums is a yes.
Thank you. Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Opie,
Hope yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Deppie, yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Winnicki, yes.
passes.
Motion passes and the minutes are approved. I believe we will be having public comment today, and as a matter of protocol, we ask that the speakers refrain from statements and remarks or conduct that may become disruptive to the conduct of the county board, which may cause a disturbance. Are there any public comments today? There is none online.
Nobody is speaking. I have one unidentified phone number. If you want to make a comment and you are on the phone, it's *6 to unmute, *6. Otherwise, everybody else is bugged.
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
if I could volunteer, I have 4 or 5 individuals whose names are reflected as people who want to speak in context of zoning hearings. And I think only then in the context of answering questions. So if those are the people that show us signed up, they will, I reserve their right to speak later.
Very good. There was one additional speaker to that, and he has not been attending the meeting, so there are no public comments.
This is Mike Mathis. I'm speaking on behalf of Petition tonight. Do I need to say that now or when that item comes up?
When the item comes up will be appropriate.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so now we are moving on to my updates and then to recognition of former board members. Before we begin the recognition, I would like to recognize all of you and thank you so much for your kind words, your gentle support, and the strength that you have given me in the last few days. It has been a tumultuous January for me, and I'm hoping that the strength of all of you will help me to continue as I move forward into February and into my new life. So again, thank you very much. And I brought some heart candies simply as a way to say thank you. And I would encourage all of you, and you'll find me to be a pretty sentimental person sometimes, that you share that love with one of your loved ones and make sure that you give them a hug and tell them how much you love them, because it is transient. So again, thank you so much. And all right, I begin. Hard to talk about. Now, we had some outstanding individuals who served Kane County, and they served well and hard and with great passion and great interest. And it has taken us a while to develop those recognitions, but they are done now. And I would like to very proudly, and I'm honored to recognize our former Kane County board members. So I think by doing so, we can honor them one at a time and present them with their plaque and have a photograph taken so that we can put that up on the website and you can take it home with you as well. So the first I would like to recognize is Teresa Barrio. And Deb Allen has taken the opportunity to personally write each one of the endorsements of service. So the kind words and the good words are all from her.
Good.
Thank you. Are we good? We're good. We're smiling with our eyes.
Get their mask.
Barbara Hernandez here or online? There she is, Barbara. Good.
Traffic jam.
Go right up. Back sometime. Wow.
Representative Hernandez will take very good care of us in Springfield. If not, we know where she's at. John Hoshite, please. Flo online? He was unable to attend. No, we will certainly send his plaque to him with a letter of congratulations again. Susan Sterrett. Thank you very much. It's nice to be able to recognize a fellow Batavian. Angie Thomas? Angie, are you online?
I am online, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Oh, very good. Well, we will be sending you your plaque and congratulations. And thank you for your service. And Penny Wegman. And it's nice to have Ms. Wegman's service now as our new auditor and continuing her service for Kane County. After, Matt, I am so sorry. Can you see your name on the list? Mr. Hanson, I know you're here. There he is.
Too short.
You have everybody? Okay, good. Good. All righty, so now we have a number of zoning petitions for your consideration. So I'd like to ask John Martin to lead us in that discussion.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We do have 4 petitions today, the first being petition 4564, filed by M-Wave Networks regarding property in Caneville Township, generally at the west side of Lorraine Road, approximately a quarter mile north of Seavey Road, again, in Caneville Township. There was no regional plan commission applicable jurisdiction. There were certain recommendations made by the Zoning Board of Appeals, which were followed by the Development Committee, and with a couple of additional provisions. The board will recall that this matter was tabled last month at my request because there was a last-minute discussion that bore upon the question of road dedication, and there was a typographical error corrected relative to permitting a lightning rod on top of one of the that resulted during that conversation, a lightning rod. So I would move that we take this matter off the table and that it be approved, and request a second. Mr. Fraz seconds. Are there any comments or questions? Mr. Fraz?
Yeah, this is in my district. I'm very familiar with the area out there, and it's an area of gravel mining for the most part, both active and former gravel mines. The one right across the street has been turned into a recycling facility, and actually the Kane County KDOT former gravel pit and storage areas just to the southeast. The Almond Underwood Forest Preserve is right next door. It's fairly small. It's not a very well attended forest preserve, but staff at the forest preserve was notified of this, and as far as I know, it made no comments on it. So I do support it.
Are there any other comments or questions? If I might ask, the speaker that's online, which petition did you want to speak?
Good morning, Aaron Ranke for M-Wave. I'm here for the petitioner for 4564, and I'm here with my team, and we're here to answer any questions, but it doesn't sound like you have any.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing no further questions, would the clerk please call the roll? I did both, if I could. Okay.
So let me do a roll to take it off the table. We have Martin removing it, Fraz seconded the motion. Alan, what's your vote?
Alan, aye.
Bates?
Bates, aye.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford? Yes. Fraz?
Yes.
Gums?
Yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Opie?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Winnicki?
Winnicki, yes.
Okay, and that's off table.
Motion carries. The matter is off the table. As to the motion in hand, may I have a motion for approval? Mr. Fraz moves. May I have a second, please? Mr. Shepro seconds. Having once.
One question.
Yes, sir.
The stipulation number 1, is there some doubt as to whether all those things are allowed on Lorraine Road, or is that?
That's just standard verbiage that KDOT asks to be put in so that the local township highway commissioners are not ignored if they're bringing in a big crane or a heavy load. So it stipulates that they have to follow all of the local township ordinances on overweight and overwidth.
Comments? Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Okay, for approval of 4564, Allen?
Alan, aye.
Bates?
Bates, aye.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fraz?
Yes.
Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Copey?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Well, yes.
I'm sorry. Silva?
Yes.
Okay. Strathman?
Yes.
Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Winnicki?
Winnicki, yes.
Passes.
Motion carries. Matter stands approved. The next matter before us is petition 4566, filed by Ruben Hernandez regarding property commonly known as 29 Baseline Road in Aurora Township. The proposed rezoning sought is from F District Farming to B3 District Business with a special use for a truck terminal. There is no applicable regional plan commission jurisdiction. The zoning board voted approval with certain recommendations, as did the development committee. May I please, I move approval of this and request a second. Mr. Sanchez seconds. Do we have comments or questions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Allen?
Alan, aye.
Bates?
Bates, aye.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fraz?
Yes.
Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Copey?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Wegman?
No, Winnicki, yes.
I'm sorry, Winnicki. I'm still on the old roll call. That passes.
Matter is approved. The petition is approved. The next matter before us is petition 4567, filed by RWE Design Build through its land trust. Its property located at the southwest side of Route 38, approximately a quarter mile west of Harley Road in Camden Township. The proposed rezoning sought is from F District Farming to PUD Planned Unit Development for an animal shelter, veterinary clinic, horse rescue, and wildlife rescue. There was no regional plan commission jurisdiction. The matter was approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals with certain recommendations, also approved by the Development Committee, which adopted those recommendations. I would move approval and request a second. Ms. Winicki.
Winicki, seconds.
Seconds. Do we have comments or questions? Ms. Winicki.
I do have a couple comments. Historically, I would have voted no for a change in our 2040 plan because this was designated as agriculture, and it's then the petition asked to be changed to a PUD. However, I've met with the Anderson Animal Shelter. They've been in existence since the early 1960s, an absolutely wonderful organization saving rescues. And I had the opportunity to work with Fox Valley Wildlife, another wonderful organization where you can, if you find wildlife that needs help, you can take it there, and they're very welcoming. There's also going to be an equestrian horse rescue there, and I think this is just a wonderful opportunity for Campton Township and the Village of Campton Hills and all of Kane County, and it'll be a wonderful destination for all families, so I'm very much in favor of this.
Thank you very much. Mr. Fries?
Yeah, this is right on the border of Barb's district and mine, and we had several meetings with Anderson over the last year and a half, and as Barb said, they're going to take on the Fox Valley Wildlife Center, which is currently in an older building in the Elburn Forest Reserve under an agreement with the Forest Reserve. And they also want to take on now larger animals, horses and things. So that's why it's going to be more of a farm setting. And I did have a couple of constituents out there that are fairly active in these kind of issues, and contacted them both, and they were very open to it and welcoming. So I think the entire neighborhood's welcoming this petition.
Thank you. Are there any other comments or questions?
I have a question.
Madam Chair.
Is this going to replace the facility that they have in South Elgin? Or is this in addition to?
I believe it's a replacement.
I believe it's a replacement, yes. They need more room, definitely, yeah.
The last time I was there, I saw an ostrich walking amongst the cats. It was quite intimidating.
Any other comments?
Mr. Chairperson, Dr. Silva.
I think Mr. Schiff, I think we have a comment.
Gopi?
Thank you. How does this zoning PUD differ from the farming zoning?
A PUD essentially is a contract between the property owner and the county that delineates the placement of what's being constructed and the uses. It's a tighter, the uses are allowed, it's a tighter zoning category than would be conventional zoning.
Thank you.
Anything else? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
I thought I heard Ms. Silva.
I'm sorry.
Dr. Silva.
Dr. Silva, I'm sorry I missed you.
That's okay. I'm sorry. It seems that I've been having difficulties all morning. But I would just like to reiterate some of the words that Commissioner Winicki has mentioned. I have had the opportunity to sit with administration. Beth and Barrett have been great at providing information, and I would like to encourage any board member to attend any of these informative sessions with them, because they are providing for a big need in Kane County, and I'm very, very impressed and hope to continue the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. That being the final comment, would the clerk please call the roll?
Allen?
Allen, aye.
Bates?
Bates, aye.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fries?
Yes.
Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Kopi?
Hope yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tepe?
Deppie, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Winicki?
Woniki, yes.
That passes.
Motion carries. The matter is approved. The final matter before us is Petition 4568, which is filed by the Kane County Forest Preserve District regarding property commonly known as 0 North 575 Pooley Road in Blackberry Township. The proposed rezoning sought is from F District Farming to F1 District Rural Residential, and the intention is to sell off the residential portion of a piece of property recently acquired by the Forest Preserve District. There was no Regional Plan Commission jurisdiction. The Zoning Board approved, as did the Development Committee. I move approval and request a second. Mr. Leonard seconds. Do we have any comments or questions? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fraz,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Opie,
Yes.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis,
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman, Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
okay. Surgis,
Burgess, yes.
Tepe,
Tepe, yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Winnicke,
Woniki, yes.
passes.
Motion carries. Petition is approved. Madam Chair, that concludes the zoning hearings for the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin. The next are a series of 3 appointments we have for committees. I've heard some discussion that some of our board members would like to be more carefully, closely involved with some of these appointments. And if this is your will, which I'm very happy to do, I would like then going forward, because there are many committee assignments that we have to have going forward. If you would like, I can certainly select appointments to serve on an ad hoc committee so that you can interview and make decisions and bring those to my attention for approval. But I will leave that to your decision and recommendation. But I would suggest at this point, since we have a number of exceptionally good candidates that have come from not only through my approval, but also have come through your fellow members of the board, that we do carefully consider these and make adequate discussion and vote hopefully with your approval. So with that, I'd like to have Mr. Franz talk about the Mill Creek SSA Advisory Board.
Yeah, so if you'll remember, the Mill Creek is our largest unincorporated development in the county, and the county oversees it. Since there's 24 of us from all over the county, it seemed fair to develop what's called the SSA Advisory Board. SSA stands for Special Service Area, so that's its own taxing body. It's fully self-funded, and it takes care of a lot of things within the subdivision, like lawn mowing and landscape maintenance at the entrances, Christmas decorations, drainage things. So we have a board, and we meet out there every 60 days or so, and it's made up of local citizens. We had an opening, and traditionally I have found people to recommend for that opening. In this case, I interviewed 3 people that showed interest. I would have gladly recommended any one of the 3 for the position, but I am recommending Heidi Urbelis, a local citizen, longtime resident. She's had some kind of major life changes recently, and has the time now to spend, and is very excited about getting involved with the committee, and she's already brought herself up to date by reading the past minutes. So I'm recommending Heidi Urbelis be appointed to the Mill Creek SSA Advisory Body.
So may I have a motion and a second to approve the new appointment and reappointment? Thank you.
Braz moves.
Frost moves.
And that was Mr. Berman who seconded?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Is there any other further discussion on this appointment? Mr. Shepro.
I would just comment that this has been, in my experience, a very active, community-involved board. And I know from firsthand observation that Mr. Fraz has been very active in working with them. And, you know, a lot of times the groups that are selected by homeowner associations don't do a whole lot, but this has been a very active for as long as I can remember, going back, you know, 10, 15 years. So.
Any other comments? If none, clerk, could you please call the roll?
Sure. Allen.
Allen, aye.
Bates.
Bates, aye.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Davist.
Davist, yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Fraz.
Yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Kopi.
Opie, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Martin.
Martin, yes.
Molina.
Molina, yes.
Sanchez.
Yes.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes.
Silva.
Silva, yes.
Strathman.
Strathman, yes.
Surgis.
Burgess, yes.
Tepe.
Tepe, yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Winicky.
Wonicky, yes.
It passes.
Passes. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mr. Fraz, for selecting a very good candidate to that board. Now, may I ask you also, Mr. Fraz, to lead the discussion about the Metro Board of Directors, and I will share as well.
Yeah, we have an opening as the county has a representative on the Metro Board, and that the previous person resigned a while back. And so we had the opening and we wish to fill it. I'm recommending Matt Hansen, our former board member, who's actually here today. It was kind of interesting. Staff informed me about the opening, and occasionally they come across people that are interested, but they didn't have anybody. Matt had expressed interest in this some time ago, so I told staff I would contact Matt, see if he was still interested, and go over a few questions I had for him, which I did. He was interested. We had a nice conversation, and I was happy to recommend him. And then when I got back to staff, apparently Madam Chairman and some other board members had also brought forth Matt's name. So it's coming to you from somewhat bipartisan sources and from two different sources. You know, Matt, as you know, is a engineer on the commuter train system, so he knows the commuter system literally from the inside out. And he also knows how the county board operates. That's who he'll be reporting to for the annual report. The prior appointment was done in this similar manner by the former chairman. And, you know, I think it's, you know, again, coming from a couple of different sources, it's a good recommendation. And I have always respected Matt's attendance record and the time he put in, and his knowledge of the material and the time he spent researching subjects that came up at the county board. So I'm happy to recommend Matt.
Oh, thank you. I also independently recommended Mr. Hansen to this board. He brought forward his experience and his job experience. And what is unique with this board, it is not what I would consider, quote, an appointment because of politics. I look for individuals to appoint who have experience and knowledge in specialization in that field, subject experts, which I truly believe that he brings to us. But not only does he have subject expertise in transportation, which is rare, he also brings a wealth of experience on county board and what the Kane County needs moving forward with the RTA. So he brings not only his knowledge of trains and transportation, obviously, but also his knowledge of the county. And it is an ideal match, and it is a rare match to be found. So I believe he is a very strong candidate, who will well represent us. And these appointments to me are completely nonpartisan, because I look for people who have experience and skill level to do an effective job. So I wholeheartedly recommend Mr. Hansen for this appointment. Yes.
Madam Chair, I would move that the board advise and consent to the appointment of Matt Hansen to the Metro Board of Directors.
Thank you.
Caius, second.
Second. Any discussion?
Madam Chair, Surges here.
Yes, Mr. Surges.
Enthusiastically support Mr. Hanson.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, please?
Enthusiastically support Mr. Hanson.
Thank you. Ms. Winicki?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Just a quick question. Did we publicize an opening for this position in any way? Or is this just a position that, you know, is word of mouth, and that's how we, that's how it was publicized? Just a question.
Mr. Frost?
Fraz speaking. Yeah, as I said, traditionally, sometimes KDOT staff comes across people in the transportation industry that live in Kane County that they would recommend. They didn't have anybody in this case. I had Matt on the back of my mind from an earlier conversation. And again, it came from another source, Madam Chairman and some of their board members. So we had a good candidate. Traditionally, we don't advertise this kind of thing unless there's nobody to draw from, and we don't have good candidates. But you know, I would say that the chairman makes, I don't know if it's hundreds, but several recommendations to everything from the Metro Board and RTA and the tollway all the way down to you know, every fire district and drainage district and the Mill Creek SSA, which we just did. So, you know, if we're going to advertise each one of those and set a committee to commit interviews, it's going to be a big commitment of time and energy. But no, this is how it's traditionally been done. It would have been great if we had 3 or 4 people wanting it, but we had a good candidate, and that's who we're recommending.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Talk in your mic.
Please.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. I had a few phone calls.
I'm sorry to apologize. Could you please introduce yourself?
Oh, Ron Ford. I'm sorry. Just the thought of that, because his position, I mean, the recommendations are outstanding, but because his position, as job position, whether or not there was any conflict in his position being on this board.
Would you like to speak to that? Please.
And those were the questions that the conversation I had with Matt when I called him back to see if he was still interested, and I was satisfied.
Good morning, and thank you very much, Madam Chair. And for Commissioner Ford and anyone else with questions, I'm happy to either add information for your decision-making today. I'm here for any questions. Regarding a potential conflict of interest, I'm a locomotive engineer for the BNSF Railway. This is an advisory board for Metra. Metra does provide service, passenger service, but much like all of us, we have one hat when we leave our homes. We put on a different hat when we walk into this boardroom. You can wear a different hat and different responsibilities, whether they be in an advisory board, charitable organizations, a second job, whatever it happens to be. And so the ability to turn one component of your life off, it's impossible to do in this case, because the experience that I'll bring from a railroad, from a functional railroad position, will aid me in effectively leading and representing the people of Kane County in this board. But I also know how to differentiate between one role to the next. Are there any other questions at this point?
There are no other questions. Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Mr. Shepro?
Just a comment, not a question. You know, the question of conflict of interest, you have to be careful with that because, for example, if you pursue that too far, none of us could presumably vote on a zoning matter because as residents of the county, we might be affected personally by the particular zoning in question. And that's never been seriously advanced as a reason. Often we consider experience in the field to be a positive and not a negative.
And I would like to add that my profession as a locomotive engineer and my commitment to making sure that we have a continued reliable, affordable, sustainable public transit agency is a part of a bigger picture infrastructure. And I've said it before, when I served with you on the board, that infrastructure can be viewed as a weapon of mass competitiveness. That was a quote from the CEO prior to our current CEO. It's not original material. And I believe in that. And that's why when it came to lobbying for our interest, when it came in Springfield for capital bill projects, it's just as important to lobby for those going forward right now too. There's almost $500 million right now in flux waiting to be allocated from the RTA. 2 of the communities in Kane County have identified as CNA, as critical needs areas. Where is that money going to go? Is it going to go to non-Chicago Cook County, or can you bring some back to Elgin, Aurora? There are really big moving pieces right now as the system that's currently in place is not being utilized by the ridership that was there pre-pandemic. These are critical moments. The complexities of our 3 lines, the 3 metro lines that serve Kane County, where the metro service intersects with and shares lines with the freight service, is unique, unlike some of the other metro lines. I care about making sure that the viability of metro and the service that our residents and our colleagues and even our neighbors from outside the county utilize, it's got to be there. First, we have to restore the service, then we have to revive it, and then we've got to go ahead and look for ways to grow. But I thank you for the time that I had in speaking with you, Madam Chair, Transportation Committee Chair, Drew Fraz, as well as Tom Rickard as well. So I appreciate your support. I look forward to working with all of you. And most importantly, I won't be a once-a-year person. I'll be accessible for all the difficult decisions that are coming up, and making sure that not only this board, but also our municipal partners throughout Kane County have accessibility to me and know that I'm their voice on the board.
Okay. Thank you very much. Are there any other questions or comments? Hearing none and seeing none online, may I have a motion?
You did.
I did, and we have a second.
We do.
All right.
Shepro and Caius. First and second.
Clerk, please call the roll. Thank you.
Allen?
Allen, aye.
Bates?
I'd like to give my enthusiastic yes, please.
Okay. Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fraz?
Yes.
Gums?
Gums is a yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Kopi?
Opie, yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Jepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva is a yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Sturgis is an absolutely.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Wonicky?
Monique, yes.
Passes.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Mr. Hanson. Serve us well. The next is the Kane County Road Impact Fee Advisory Committee. May I have, may I ask again, was it Mr. Martin, did you lead this discussion?
Take that.
Frost, thank you again.
Yeah, the Kane County, if you got a flashback to the 90s and 80s, or late 80s, 90s, early 2000s, when housing was just super hot, and there's a clamoring from the public to make developers pay more of their fair share for infrastructure. For example, somebody builds a big subdivision and then the taxpayers have to upgrade, Randall Road or whatever road is near it and build several intersections. So that's what this system came from, and it's divided into a north, central, and south. So if we collect fees from a project up north, those fees are reinvested in transportation issues in that sector. So we have a board that's made up of different people, including some developers, to have input on decisions that we make on the stormwater fee, I'm sorry, on the impact fees. And, this is a recommendation to fill an empty seat for that position. Mr. Berman.
Oh, thank you. May I have a motion to approve Mr. Berman?
Leonard moves.
Strathman, second.
Okay, thank you.
Strathman.
Is there any discussion on this appointment?
Yes, Mr. Berman.
Yes, Mr. Berman.
I served on that committee when I was mayor of North Aurora, so I'm very familiar with it. I understand what we have to do. So I appreciate very much to be appointed to that committee again. Thank you.
And thank you for volunteering to serve on that committee. There's no further discussion. May I please have the roll?
Allen,
Allen, aye.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davis,
Davis, yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Fraz,
Yes.
Gums,
Gums, yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Opie,
Opie, yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Thank you. Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Pepperell, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Pepe, yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Winnicke.
Winnicke, yes.
Yeses.
Very good. Congratulations, Mr. Berman.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are now moving to our committee reports or committee updates. I'll call each one of the committees. And if you have something to share, please do so. If not, we'll move on to the next committee. Mr. Caius with administration.
In the interest of time, I do not have a report.
Thank you. Agriculture, Mr. Kenyon.
Nothing to report.
Thank you. County Development, Mr. Martin.
No report.
Energy and Environment, Ms. Bates.
Approving the Kane County Green Building Policy.
Okay, thank you. That'll be coming up. Thank you. I have no report on executive. Finance, Mr. Berman.
No report.
Human Services, Mr. Surgis.
No report at this time.
Mr. Ford and Mr. Weber, Jobs.
No report.
No report. Very good. Judicial Public Safety, Ms. Molina.
Good morning, Madam Chairman. No reports at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Legislative, Ms. Gums and Ms. Strathman.
No reports this morning.
Okay, thank you. Public Health, Mr. Sanchez.
If there are any other committees that have something, I would defer to them first. Just
All right,
have
I'll
a
get
few
back to you
points to
then.
make.
Public Service, Mr. Tepe.
No report.
Mr. Frost, Transportation.
Just would mention that I'd like to thank our snowplow crews. Mother Nature was pretty nice to us in December and early January, and then let us know who's boss in recent weeks. So they've been working some real long hours, and if you get out in the western areas, it's a whole different world. So if you go out on County Line Road now, the snow along the side of the road is about 10 feet high. So they've been working long hours and just taking some short breaks to catch up on their sleep and going right back to work. So I appreciate them getting us through that.
Oh, I concur, getting those 4 o'clock in the morning phone calls asking me if I want to open up the county. I know that they are doing great work and truly appreciate their efforts. And may they all be very, very safe in this difficult weather. Mr. Sanchez, you have a report for Public Health.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Blair, do you have the access set so I can share screen? While Blair's getting that set up, I did want to touch very briefly upon the issue that came in the newspaper last week about the idea that breastfeeding and pregnant mothers were denied a vaccine. And I know that was something that a lot of you asked me about. As far as what happened, that really gets us into a personnel issue. So that's something that we can discuss in closed session today if you would like. Otherwise, what's current and going into the future, we have reversed the practice. So all pregnant and breastfeeding mothers are able to get a vaccine through Kane County events. And also the people who were previously denied have been contacted and asking them if they still need to get a vaccine to please come in, and we'll get them in right away. So that's sort of the update on that issue. I know some of you are really upset when that came out, and I'm with you on that. So moving forward, let me set it up so I could share my screen with you. because we do have an update on the vaccine rollout. We've given the 20,000 foot view previously. Let me do this. And I know that even though we explained our plan, it wasn't enough detail for everyone. I've gotten a lot of emails saying you still have no plan. You didn't really tell us much. Well, we just kind of gave the general specifics. So let's start off here with the supply of vaccine at the top. You could see how much vaccine Kane County has actually received from the state. Hey, Chris, can you please turn the lights off just so everyone here can see the screen a little bit better? You did receive this document about an hour ago. It's in your email, and we'll make sure that this gets sent out to everywhere else. But you can see we've received about 40, just under 46,000 doses just to Kane County. So that's actually not a lot. It's not what we would want. It's not what we hope. But I'd like to remind people we're at the beginning of this. So you can see the week by week breakdown. Some weeks we received 0. We are told each week how much we can order. We ask for 100% and we cross our fingers. We're hoping that is going to change as we go along here and the vaccine production increases. So with this, before I go into the next portion, I want to just say this right here. Mass vaccination sites are not a measure of program success, because that's a comment I keep hearing over and over again. You don't have a mass vaccination site. Why not? Everyone else does. So I will come back to that, but keep that in the back of your mind. What are we doing with all this vaccine? Well, first, we have all of our partners, our providers that we're sending out doses to. So right now, we have on our website, we've got a list of 40 plus partners, and I'm working on getting that list for us. I'm told some partners don't want to be listed publicly, so we're working on that list for you guys. But right now, we've sent 33,000 doses out to all of our providers, mostly Aunt Martha's Health and Wellness, Greater Elgin, VNA. You can see also the hospitals have received doses. So the majority of the doses that Kane County has received have gone directly to these providers who are getting it out to the community. So a wider audience than we would be able to do in one location with the staff that we have. Going down to the bottom of the page, the administered vaccines, these are representative of what Kane County has done ourselves. So the events we've held, and you can see at the Kane County Fairgrounds, for healthcare workers, frontline essential and essential workers. And those are going to continue. The programs we are hosting in this way are going to continue as we increase our dosage. So it's very important that we remember, look at this number at the top, how much dose we've received. Look at what we got last week, 2,600, the week before 0, the week before 21,000. We put in an order for 20,000 that we're supposed to be getting this week. So again, fingers crossed. It is really hard to plan too far ahead when you don't know what you're going to get week to week. Is it going to be, a drought, or is it going to be a monsoon, or neither? So just good background information for everyone to know. So now all the providers have served these populations. People say you don't have one site where anyone can go. You've done events for law enforcement and for teachers, but what about 65 and older? What about essential workers? So the population served are coming from our providers. We've done our events that you see there, but the 33,000 doses that have gone out throughout the county have come from the providers that received doses from us. So even though we don't have one central location for everyone in the county to go to, we're getting it out throughout the county, north, central, west, and south. And it's getting out there faster, more quickly than we would be able to do with our staff without hiring a whole bunch of people. So all of these venues that we send doses to are able to administer it in a more timely fashion and to get the vaccine into the community more quickly. So we do have some things coming up, upcoming clinics this week, 12,000 educators we're working on getting vaccinated. We have new and second dose clinics coming up. And then most importantly, we have additional clinics for the 65 and older population coming in the next couple weeks. Now the exact dates, times, and locations are still being worked out right now. I was hoping to have that for you today, but we're really close. We have a few sites that we've been looking at, such as ECC, such as Wabansi, and of course the fairgrounds. But look for that. As soon as the details are worked out, we're going to be able to promote these events. There'll be pop-up events using our pod setup. So there'll be a one-day thing here, one-day thing there, and we're just going to keep doing that as much as we can throughout the community. So for the 65 and elder population that have been asking, when are we going to be hosting events for them? Well, the answer is very, very soon. So this just gets back to that notion that Kane County doesn't have a plan. This tells you a little bit more closely, it shows you a little more closely what the plan is looking like as it unrolls. It's a plan that has been in place for 20 years and we're only piggybacking off of that plan because of COVID. So all these providers we send to throughout the community are part of the plan. And like I said, I'm working on getting a full list for everyone because that has been requested of me multiple times. In being online and looking for what people are talking about in regards to vaccine rollout in other counties, and in speaking even with a reporter recently who has spoken with people in other counties, the story I told that reporter, everyone thinks we're behind the 8 ball, the grass is greener in the other counties, we need more supply. The reporter said, hey, I could just take your name and county and replace it with another one that I've talked to, and it's the exact same quote. Because every county is experiencing the same thing. The residents there in McHenry County and Lake County, they think the grass is greener in Kane County and vice versa. So just so you guys understand for how much doses we're getting, we're not sitting on them very long. And in fact, if you do the math, we have about, I think 7,000 or 6,000 doses that we have right now, but with a 12,000 needing to go out this week, we will be short 6,000 doses if we don't get that supply in from the state. So, we do have a plan, and more details will come out next week at Public Health Committee about what we've been up to, and we're going to have weekly updates on all these things so that you guys know what we've been doing. Also, marketing is a big topic. How we get the word out, how we promote ourselves, and how we talk about everything has been a big issue. And I do apologize. There is something on the agenda today, and I didn't make many phone calls on this. We have looked at a marketing firm, and we're using an emergency purchase order because it's a timely matter to go through the committee process. It will take way too long. Usually I like to go through the committee process, but we do have a resolution later that we'll go over to hire someone to help us, to bring in an outside professional that's been doing this stuff to work with our team and get the message out there in a better way, because the reality is our plan is working. We're doing great. We just need more vaccine. That's really all it comes down to. And every county is saying the same thing. Everyone I've talked to is like, we can go more, we could do more, we could do faster. We just need more supply. And the matter of have we been shorted supply, it's actually not based on population that each county has, how much vaccine they get. It's based on how much of the 1A and 1B population that the state estimates that each county has. So if you look at total population and total vaccines received, the numbers don't match county to county. But the state has their own metrics for determining how many each county has in 1A and 1B, and that's how they proportion their supply. And I think that is pretty much it for this part of the report. I just have one more thing. There was an event that occurred in my backyard in Carpentersville on Saturday. And this was an event organized by IDPH and some community organizations. It is a pop-up vaccine event. Like we've done pop-up COVID testing, and they had COVID testing there, but this is the first vaccine pop-up event held in the entire state, and it just happened to be in Kane County. And on top of that, it happened to be in my district, the place that I go to get tacos. I like to tell everybody that, La Alcancia in Carpentersville. So it was really cool that it just happened to work out that way. One of the owners of the grocery store is a member of the Illinois Migrant Council who's been working with IDPH. They organized this event, and they wanted to do something at a grocery store just to see how it works. I'm informed it went very well. All appointments were scheduled ahead of time, so people weren't standing out in the cold very long. They got in and out pretty quickly. We administered 360 doses, and they're going to be coming back in a couple weeks to do even more because it was so successful. And I can show you here. Hopefully the sound doesn't play. This is just a quick walkthrough video. And it's still bright in here. You guys can't see it, but it's a quick walkthrough video of the vaccine tent itself, the pop-up tent. And they did give me permission to film, so it's all good. But you can see it's not very long, but they got 360 people through there in, what was it, like 8-degree weather. You know, it was quite a scene. And that's the cooler where they keep the doses with the security guards standing right next to it. And that's it. It's pretty simple. People got through there very quickly. They were able to sit in a waiting room inside and do their 15 minutes afterwards, and then go on their way. Didn't hear of any adverse reactions the entire time. And yeah, it was a success. So we'll be seeing more of these events. And remind yourself, this is coming from the state, had nothing to do with the county. We were just happy that it happened here, and we were happy to be there. Kathy Foster, interim executive director, was there. Uche Anwuta was there. It was a good time. And I didn't get any tacos. I figured I'll leave that for the staff and everybody that was helping out, but I go back. So if anyone has any questions or comments, concerns at this time, please let me know.
I think we have several.
Yeah, it seems to me that
Excuse me, name please.
Oh, sorry, Shepro. It seems to me that when you hear about what other counties are doing, often what they're doing seems to be illusory in the sense of, oh yes, we're registering people, and then you find out you don't have a number or an appointment. You have the right to get updates. And I think, that is why some people in the public, it seems to me, are saying, how come you're not doing that? I would commend the approach we're doing, because when you read when people think they have appointments and show up and they say, we're out of vaccine today, to me, that's worse. Maybe the worst solution at all. And also, I just wanted to say, those of you who didn't see Chairman Sanchez's comments to the Chronicle, I want to commend the forthright nature of that. I think it was very important to get out in front of that story. And, often when something like that happens, you see the officials say, well, I can't comment, or, and I think that was an excellent statement and very forthright, and my thanks for doing that.
Thank you. Anything else, Mr. Ford?
Madam Chair, thank you. I just want to agree with what our board member Shepard just said. I really think that board member Sanchez is doing a great job in the committee. I had heard some comments about other counties, and then when you do follow-up phone calls, you find out it's not what people say. Just because they hear that somebody got registered, they think they actually got their dose. That's not the case. We just got to remind people that we're not responsible for what doses we get. Therefore, we can only do what we can. But I just encourage what we're doing to keep going forward, and anything we can do to help out, I think all of us are willing to participate. So myself, just let me know what I can do I just want to make sure when I say things, I'm saying the right things. I think all of us should make sure we're not spreading rumors by just repeating them. Sometimes it makes the rumor exist even longer. So we all need to be on the same language and really push forward. And I can't wait to whatever we decide today what we're gonna do. Thank you.
Yeah, and Mr. Ford, we will be getting weekly updates of these kinds of numbers. So we'll know how much is going in and out. And there will be more information, I think, as far as talking points and things like that for board members that will be sent out as we go along, so that you guys have a quick sheet to rely on. And anything else, you can always call me or email me until then, or
I'll
after
call
then.
you, so.
Yeah, you got my number.
Ms. Gumbs?
Yes, I have a comment and a question for Commissioner Sanchez. First, I just want to say thank you for all the hard work that you're doing. Anticipating dosages and the disappointment is a tumultuous situation to be in. So I applaud your efforts and the team's work on this. I did get a question this morning. I was grateful to see that video. There was a question presented as to, is there any plans or could there be plans for a drive-through vaccination? The comment came from a resident who indicated that our food pantries and those pop-up food pantries have been extremely successful, and it was a suggestion, and I thought I'd throw it at you.
Yeah, and I did forget to mention that as far as max vaccination sites go, the Kane County Fairgrounds is already a natural choice. And as supply increases, we will definitely be working on establishing a full site. So I did forget to mention that point. But again, it's not a measure of a program success if you have one or not. We're getting out the supply. For the drive-through, I know we've talked about it. We don't have any definite plans for a drive-through right now. But that's something, that's a luxury we can't wait to get to.
Yeah, well, I kind of reiterated that, it depends on how many we have. And you guys are doing an excellent job. It just came up because everybody was very pleased with how the food banks have been going, and thought I wasn't even sure if that was a possibility as far as the drive-through. So thank you for answering that.
Chairwoman, Bates, please.
Hold on, Ms. Bates, Mr. Shepro.
Kopi. This is Kopi, District 9. Thank you, Mr. Sanchez. I've extracted some figures off the CDC website, and I broke it down into Illinois, and then I had to interpolate from there, from Kane County to, I take it back, from the nation as a whole, and then Illinois, and then I had to interpolate from there to establish the view I wanted to create for Kane County. Help me, bear with me as I stumble through my notes, but it appears that about 9% of the population of the nation as a whole has received dosage. And from there, about 5% have actually been administered. In Illinois, it's 15% of the population has been delivered dosage, and 11% of the population has been administered. So it puts Illinois pretty far up on the ladder as far as dosages delivered. Now, in order to make this a subjective point, and there's two takeaways from this, for Kane County, to date, about 6% of the population have received dosage, and about 21% of that dosage has been administered. So the interesting part about this is that the doses delivered to Kane County is 300% less than what has been delivered to the state. And as far as doses administered, we are well beyond any of the competitive figures that I have mentioned, both on the state level and the national level. So basically what our health department has done and what Mr. Sanchez has accomplished is he has been able to do much more with much less. And my hat is off to him. There are some questions though that remain, and it's not a criticism. It's about how can we improve even more? How can you possibly improve even more? But I'll ask the questions because I'm getting the questions from a constituency of my district. And one is quite frankly, there are people out there that refuse to watch television because it doesn't have knobs, okay? So we have a communication breakdown. Communication is extremely complicated today. And depending on what venue you prefer, it's a disconnect from other venues. So we probably have to rely on the old analog type of communications, and to develop a protocol that will give precedence to the most needed persons in our society. And so there's two problems that I see that can be fixed, simple enough. Don't ask me how to do it because I don't know. That's why I depend on the health department. We depend on you, Mr. Sanchez, and your committee, and to reach out to these communities and give them an exact or method, the methodology of how they can approach the accessibility to the vaccine according to their demographic position. And another thing that would be nice if they could track themselves and where they are in the order. And other than that, that's a big list, and that's and I challenge you, and I hope that we can meet that goal.
Thank you, Mr. Copey, and point well made. I will say, as far as the rollout has been going, I can't take credit for that. That would be our staff, Kane County Health Department. So I would send the thanks on to them. And any ideas you have for streamlining and optimizing, send them my way. We'll talk, and we'll see what we can make happen.
Thank you.
Excellent suggestion, Mr. Copey. Thank you. Yes.
Vern Tepe, Mr. Sanchez. When you have the pop-up clinic for the one that you had on Saturday, or like the Veterans Administration is delivering vaccines this Saturday, are those supplies coming from Kane County or from some other source directly to those organizations?
The state is organizing these, so the supplies are primarily from the state. For this event, they had originally planned for 250 doses, and they wanted to do some more, so we loaned them some. And we gave them some of our supply, which then they're returning, I believe, today. So this was all that, those pop-ups were organized from the state with state supply.
And with the VA, is that coming from the county?
VA, I believe we send some to the VA.
I don't mean to be in detail. My point was, are there other sources coming into the county or other areas that aren't coming through Kane County control? And I guess the answer is yes, there's some from the state.
The state sends everything out to the county or to all of these other places that we have no control or
And then
monitoring of.
yesterday I was on a call with Mr. Isaacson and about 75 other people. Okay. And one of the concerns that I have are seniors in particular, and those people that are in 1B that are not computer literate. And right now, people that are computer literate are going and trying to register wherever they can. Handling their frustrations is something that we all here have to deal with. But I'm very concerned about those that don't have access to computers. And I'd like to see us work with an organization like AID or Senior Services to help them become the source for registration for these people and find a way to make that happen.
Yes, we are definitely working with Senior Services and Age Guide right now to get this help out into the community for our elderly population and technologically disadvantaged population. Thank you.
Chairperson Sanchez, this is Dr. Silva.
Bates?
I'm sorry, Mrs. Bates has been waiting. Mrs. Bates?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. About all of the counties being in the same boat, if you look on the IDPH website, Kane County has now fully vaccinated 1.76%, and McHenry has now vaccinated 1.80%. So those are almost identical numbers. So I want to back up Mr. Sanchez in saying all of the counties are in the same boat. So I hope people appreciate what a good job our health department is doing in keeping up with other counties. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
Shepro, I have a question that maybe I just don't understand, or at least I know a lot of people that talk to me don't. When a operation like Walgreens or CVS or so forth that have cross-county places, are they getting their vaccine directly, or are they getting, like in Cook County, Walgreens has got places in Cook County where people are going, Kane, DuPage. Are they getting it from one supplier to them, or are they getting a piece of allocations from the different counties, if you know?
They're getting it from the state.
So it's coming directly from the state.
Coming directly from the state. So the majority of what pharmacies like CVS and Walgreens are getting is coming from the state, but there are instances where counties will work with some of these pharmacies and supply them doses for various events that they may be holding. And those pharmacies may even help us with some events. So like Meyer and things like that we're talking to. So it's mostly from the state, to answer your question, but a small percentage can come from counties.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Dr. Silva, I believe, had a question.
Dr. Silva.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and both Madam and Chairperson Sanchez. Just to Mr. Teppi's comment, I have been in contact with the VNA as well, and I had the very same question for our folks who are not able to do online scheduling. They are willing to take phone calls and will walk people through that. So they prefer not to be inundated with calls, obviously, but for the folks who are not able to register online, VNA will take their phone calls. And then as a side note to our veterans, I'm hearing that Hines VA is also providing the immunization, the vaccination. However, it is only open to current patients of Hines. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Silva.
So we continually to hear that, to Mr. Kobe's comments, that analog, old school.
Why the hell did I get
is
cut
also
off,
good.
Blair?
Oh,
Excuse me.
who's that?
Not sure where it came from.
Okay. We all fine? All right. While that's being attended to, are there any other comments?
One more minute.
One more.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The information officer could play a unique role in determining what medium we're going to use to distribute information. And I was wondering, where are we with the information officer position?
The resumes have been collected, and then unfortunately I had my personal tragedy. So now that I'm back from my bereavement leave, I'm going to be moving forward that with great haste.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Well done. Solid report. And I see Mr. Isaacson online as well. And I'd like to commend the health department for working under great duress and stress and doing the best job you possibly can. And Ms. Foster, thank you as well. Well done. Keep it up. We have lives at stake. So thank you. Probably the most important committee assignment we may have at this current juncture. So it's a great burden that you all hold. Being done with our committee updates, we are moving on at the hour of noon. We've been having a robust meeting. Would anybody like to move an item from the consent agenda? Yes.
Yes, Madam Chair, please, item 21-31.
All righty. Anything else? Okay.
Motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yes, may I have a,
Second by Wonecki.
thank you.
Shepro moved, sorry.
Shepro moved. With the exception of item 21-31. Roll.
Okay. For the consent agenda, Ellen.
Sorry, Davis, 2130, please. I have a question on that one.
Okay.
And a mute problem.
Okay, and with the exception of 2130 added.
31. Okay.
Is there any other? Please call the roll.
Allen.
Allen, aye.
Bates.
Bates, aye.
Berman.
Berman, yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Fraz.
Yes.
Gums.
Yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Opie.
Yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Lewis.
Lewis, yes.
Martin,
Martin, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surgis,
Sturgis, yes.
Pepe,
Tepe, yes.
Weber,
Yes.
Winnicke.
Yes.
Oh, the consent agenda is approved. May I have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially approve item 2130, approving the Kane County Green Building Policy?
So moved, Bates.
Second, Berman.
Strathman, seconds.
Thanks, Strathman.
Okay, very good. Discussion, please.
Davis here, my reason for pulling it, I support this. I just question whether, is the intention of changing the language there to, a capital T committee, the committee, to reference the county board? And if so, why not just say, the county board?
Oh.
I defer to Jody. Miss Molnick.
Thank you. The capital T is specifically defined under the definitions as the committee, and it was Kane County Energy Environmental Committee that is specifically defined under the definitions. That was just a typographical error in the original.
All right, well, in that case, my further question would be, the actual authority still has to lie with the board. So I guess I question whether this is appropriate to have that authority lie with one standing committee.
In the section where it's modified, it's suggesting to the purchasing department appropriate language, so it's not a resolution or action item by the county board.
Okay. Are my, not sure that completely assuages my concern, but if Mr. Shepro or one of the other attorneys would like to weigh in, I'd love to hear it.
I don't have it all on my screen.
It is.
I can read the full notation. Purchasing department, as directed by the Energy and Environmental Committee, which has been modified to the committee, include appropriate language in the procurement documents for goods and/or services that ensures compliance with the green building policy.
All right, well, if everyone's satisfied with that, then like I said, I support the concept, so I just,
Well, thank you for bringing that up. Mr. Shepro?
I would ask the state's attorney's office if they have a thought about whether that is a proper delegation to the committee.
I'm formulating my thoughts on this right now.
morning, Jamie.
Good morning.
Morning.
And I think the question is essentially, are we then trying to usurp the board making the final approval by just giving it to the committee? Is that what you're asking?
That's my concern, yes, is that we're leaving a little too much responsibility with a single standing committee. But
Reading the language, it does appear to be doing that. I understand what Jody is saying in that, because the idea is just to try to utilize this. But the language as it's drafted does appear to be doing that.
Can we correct, Surges here, can we correct that language here now?
Can be amended.
It would be an amendment. Yes, we certainly can.
If I may offer, as recommended by the committee, because the committee would be the technical resource that would be providing the language to the purchasing department to include in their procurement documents. So instead of directed as recommended.
Perhaps, Shepro?
Yes.
that would then allow it to go through the committee process as normal, right?
I would suggest then that it would say, as recommended by the committee to the county board. And if somebody wanted to make that motion, Mr. Davis, I might second it.
Thank you for the assist. I so moved by Davis.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. May we please have a roll call?
Yep.
On the amendment.
This is for the typo or the correction. Ellen,
We're voting on the amendment first.
You want,
Yes.
yes, we are.
Yes, amendment first.
Perhaps, could you possibly read the recommendation that we're voting on, the change of language?
Amendment, my dear.
Who has that? Jody?
Sat down too quickly. Under section 5, department responsibilities would be modified number 2, purchasing department, as recommended by the committee to the county board to include appropriate language in procurement contracts for goods and/or services that ensures compliance with the green building policy.
Okay, thank you very much. May we now have the roll call, please?
and I have Davis moving that and Shepro seconding that.
That's right.
Alan?
Alan, aye.
Bates?
Thank you, yes.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Opie?
Opie, yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis? Lewis? Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Sturgis?
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Winnicke?
Wonicky, yes.
Passes.
Um,
Back to the original.
Very good. Now, may I please have a roll call to approve item number 2130
As amended.
as amended?
And that was, originally it was Bates and then second by Strathman. Does that still hold same?
Yes, please.
I think it's now amended, so I don't think you need a further motion.
Motion is in
But we have to pass the amendment. So we still have to do the roll call
Yes.
As amended.
as amended.
Okay. Ellen?
Alan, aye.
Bates?
Aye.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fraz?
Yes.
Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Opie?
Opie, yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis? Are you here? Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Yes.
Sturgis?
Sturgis, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Winnicke?
Wonicky, yes.
Passes.
Motion passes.
Madam Chairman?
Yes, Mrs.
Th-
Bates.
Thank you to the board for your unanimous support of this new green building policy. Thank you.
And thank you all for bringing this forward as we move forward to protect our environment and the health of all people who work within Kane County. And I would like to thank Mr. Davos for making the excellent recommendation. The next item is item number 2131, authorizing external audits pursuant to the Kane County auditing law. May I have a motion? Mr. Shepro?
Yes, I'll move to adopt what you have before you, I believe, an amendment to the resolution that is on the agenda. And I'm trying to figure out how to cut down on excessive roll calls. So I would like to move that we adopt what was distributed this morning, or I think online. And I will make that motion.
May I have a
Alan, second.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Mr. Ford seconded?
May I speak to that?
Yes.
Yes, Madam Chair and board members, you may remember that on the lead up to the executive committee, there were questions raised by the auditor which were discussed at the executive committee. And the long and short of that is a determination with the help of our state's attorney that we are required to have an external audit for certain offices where the incumbents left their office for whatever reason. At the time, we were still pursuing some questions that were raised about that. Since the executive committee meeting, I understand that Director Anzik and State's Attorney have had some ways in which we can reduce the obligation that we might be taking on. And with the chair's permission, I would ask that perhaps Director Anzik and the State's Attorney could weigh in and tell us the very few changes that are involved.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Mr. Onsick?
Yes, this is Joe Onzik. Briefly, the one change that we know that we can make by consulting with our auditors and with the state's attorney's office is that we're already contracted with our external auditors, Baker Tilly, to do a separate annual audit for the circuit clerk's office. And so that alone would constitute or be sufficient to meet the mandatory audit for the circuit clerk's office since the circuit clerk had left office. So that's one less audit that we would need to do because it's already being done separately. So that's the one change that we're making.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Onsick. State's Attorney Mosser?
Thank you. Michelle Neerman, who is the chief of our civil division, is online, and she took the majority of the work on this, so she can explain for the state's attorney's office.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, Joe Onzik has worked fabulously with Baker Tilly to try to minimize the costs associated with these external audits. Before you is a resolution approving, basically filling in the blank regarding the information we didn't have last week. The cost is projected to not exceed $36,000. Mr. Onzik learned last night that there might be actually less than that amount, more like in the $25,000 range. Those negotiations are continuing. But if we approve today the not to exceed 36,000, I believe Mr. Onzik is pretty confident that we can come in under that amount, but it would provide us a little bit of flexibility as we are defining the scope of these audits. The other amendment then would be to assign the source of funding, which would come out of contingency funding. And with that, if there are any questions, we'd be happy to address those.
Thank you. Are there any questions or discussion on this item? Hearing none, then may I please call the roll?
Ellen?
Ellen, aye.
Bates?
Bates, aye.
Berman?
Berman, yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fries?
Yes.
Gums?
Gums, yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Opie?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Lewis? Not here. Martin?
Martin, yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Winnicke?
Yes.
That passes.
Motion passes, and that is the end of our consent agenda. The next item is item 2158, authorizing view-only access necessary for 3+1 contract, which was unanimously approved by the county board at a previous meeting. May I have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially approve 21?
Madam Chair, point of order.
I'm sorry.
If I might, this is a peculiar appearance on the agenda because of the context. I would note that at the, as you've just pointed out, they was originally unanimously approved by the county board at the November meeting. At the December meeting, Mr. Fries made a motion which was duly seconded to reconsider that vote, at which point the board tabled it for 60 days, this now being the 60 days. So I believe that the status is that we revert to where we were at that moment, which was Mr. Fraz's motion and a second. And now that it is back off the table, the question I think would be, shall the board agree to reconsider its previous vote? That would be the initial matter for discussion. And if that vote is to reconsider, then you would be back with the original matter that was passed to either be voted up or down if it is agreed to be reconsidered.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. Mr. Franz.
Yeah, Mr. Shepro is correct, so I'll speak at least initially, but I'd be glad to yield to anybody on the Finance Committee. This organization provides a service that's designed to maximize our investments. The treasurer collects a lot of money. Oftentimes it's held in accounts until it's dispersed. So the treasurer's goal always was to maximize the investments and bring in the best return while he had that money in hand. As you know, this was actually endorsed heavily by former Chairman Lawson, and Treasurer Rickert, before he resigned, had some serious concerns about it and asked for a delay so that he could look at it and come back with a conclusion. And of course, he left office before that happened. So here we are today. I will say that the treasurer, Mr. Rickert, always did extremely well on return of investment. So, you know, in my mind personally, as one voter on this board, I'm just concerned that, you know, this is something that we really even need or not. I think it would be appropriate, since we haven't appointed a new successor, we've appointed an interim treasurer, but until such time we appoint a new treasurer and give them time to look at this, I think we should table this issue until that time.
I would make a motion to table that.
Bates, second.
I'm sorry, who made the original motion?
Gums.
Gums, thank you.
Bates, second.
Second. Okay. Is there any discussion on the tabling of this motion?
It's not
No discussion on
debatable,
table.
but I do have a parliamentary inquiry, which is this a motion to table to a date certain, or to table it essentially until a motion is made to remove it from the table?
My motion was to table it indefinitely with the assumption that a new treasurer will be appointed and need some time to review this and make a recommendation, because it directs that office of directly.
So indefinitely.
Thank you for that clarification.
Thank you.
Is that what Gums and Bates agreed to?
Yeah, Gums would reiterate that exact language. Yes, that's what I was under the impression of. Yes.
It agrees.
Okay. Very good.
All right, are we ready for the vote?
Bates, Gums and Bates. Yeah, let me get them in. I just want to indefinitely to table. Okay. Ellen.
Allen, aye.
Bates.
Bates, aye.
Berman.
Berman, no.
Okay. Brown.
Yes.
Davist.
Davist, yes.
Ford. Yes. Raz.
Yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, no.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Caius, yes.
Kopi.
Yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, no.
Okay. Lewis, did you come back? All right. Martin.
Yes.
Molina.
Yes,
Molina?
to table.
Thank you. Sanchez.
I'm sorry, is this to table or table indefinitely? Because those are two different actions.
Table indefinitely.
Indefinitely, it can't come back then.
There could be a motion to postpone indefinitely, but this is a motion to table.
Okay, postpone
which-
indefinitely.
yeah.
I was getting confused there. I'm sorry. Yes.
All right. Shapro.
I don't think this will get any better with age, but I'll vote yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Surges.
I'm sorry, I need that clarification as well. This is the table, in essence, killing it, not stalling it until the permanent position is filled for review.
It's my understanding,
Yeah,
maybe I worded it wrong, but I said table indefinitely until such time a new treasurer could review the situation and then bring it back to the committee, to the board. So it's table indefinitely at this point.
And clarification?
Yeah, well, my understanding of Robert's rules is that if it is tabled without a date, it sits on the table until someone makes a motion to remove it later.
Correct.
Correct.
That is correct.
So it's not killed. It can be resurrected.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Then yes.
Surges is yes. Okay. Tepe,
Yes.
Weber,
No.
Winnicki.
Yes.
Okay, it passes.
Motion
4 nays.
passes. Very good.
May I ask the vote?
19 yays and 4 nays, 4 noes.
I thought I had 5 no's.
I have, for noes, I have Berman, Iqbal, Leonard, and Weber.
Okay.
Lewis is not here.
You're right, Mr. Surges just had the question.
Mhm.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially approve item number 21-59, approving a contract for construction with Aldridge Electric, Inc. of Libertyville, Illinois for Long Meadow Parkway C3 tolling infrastructure and signage. Kane County Section Number 20-00215-26-SG.
Fraz moves.
Thank you.
Wonicky seconds.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Chris Caius, District 23. Madam Chairwoman and fellow board members, I speak once again on behalf of the residents in my district that have opposed the size and scope of the Long Meadow Parkway, which they feel severely divides both a county forest preserve and their own neighborhoods in my district. I also speak on behalf of their opposition to the establishment of a toll, which this directly relates to, on a bridge that connects their own village, Algonquin. The only toll bridge on a minor roadway in the state of Illinois, a toll bridge that will require the residents of northern Kane County to not only pay for its construction, but also for its continued long-term maintenance. A toll from which, in point of fact, nearly 1/2 of the proceeds will go to collecting the fees. The money from that half that will likely go to pay people out of our county. Money we will not see used to maintain the bridge itself, or it will not maintain the other bridges or improve other county roads. A toll that is completely regressive tax, charging a teenager who drives his or her used car to their job at Burger Joint across our town, pays the same fees as a commodity trader who drives his or her luxury car into the city. A toll that most likely you, I, and maybe most of my constituents will never see retired unless, as Mr. Fraz has suggested, maybe he can help us find a way to retire it. I request that instead of blindly accepting this toll, you join with us and help us find a way to remove it as early as possible. Many of you helped create it. Help us be rid of it. Thank you.
Mr. Frost?
Yeah, I'd just like to give a little rebuttal, I guess, and background. This bridge was needed for many, many years. Discussions go back well over 20 years, and commitments from the state for funding date back several generations of elected officials. The total project is roughly $145 million. We've provided $100 million, again, roughly, in funding from both state, federal, and local sources. The $45 million is the balance, and that is to retire the construction cost and also provide a fund for indefinite maintenance of the bridge once it's built. So again, this has been a 20+ year project. Clear direction was given from the county board to staff to work through this project as a toll project. The reason it's a toll project and the reason that's unique is that it's practically on our North County board line, or I'm sorry, county line. And the eastern terminus is pretty much right at the Cook County line. So a lot of people that will be using this bridge come from McHenry and Cook County as well as Kane. So it didn't seem fair to burden the entire populace of the county with something that we could figure out this way to share those costs with the actual users. And it's not a mandatory bridge. You don't have to use it. You can use the old bridges that are already there if you don't want to pay the toll. But, you know, if this were to, as I mentioned at exec, if somebody can come up with an additional 45 million in funding, we'd be glad to cancel that. But it's somewhat insulting to staff to ask them to turn around after direction they've had for over a decade. If this tolling were to be pulled off at this point, the only option we would have would be to stop all of our county construction projects for a very, very long term, and all the jobs that go along with them, and divert all those funds to paying down that 45 million. So I appreciate Mr. Caius and Mr. Sanchez have always represented their areas, but I think it's really important to know though that the county received 7 resolutions passed at 7 different governmental agencies up there asking us to do this project. And I think a small percentage oppose it, and the vast majority support it, and it should be passed. Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
I do have one question, Mrs. Gums.
Yes, Ms. Gums.
Is there any end in sight for the toll? I mean, is there an end date, or is that just something like, you know, the 80s with the toll roads? Is this a forever toll?
No, not at all. We're a different agency. We've made a commitment to pay the construction debt and build a $15 million, essentially a trust fund, where the interest off that would pay for the perpetual maintenance of the bridge. And once we reach that point, which is the $45 million, this board could vote to eliminate the toll at that point.
Okay, so if we find the money, we can eliminate it. All right.
Yeah, and just to be clear, what we're voting on here today is just a contract. It's a $1.3 million contract to award to Aldridge Electric out of Libertyville. And this is for tolling infrastructure. If you go on the tollway system, you see the big gantry structures across where the tolls are that have all the equipment on them. So that's to provide 2 of those and various signages and a building to house the tolling equipment. So that's what we're voting on today. And that did come in at almost $90,000 under our engineer's estimate for the project.
Madam Chairman, Bates, please.
Yes, Ms. Bates.
Mr. Frost, was there any possibility to not charge the residents of the town or of Kane County for crossing this bridge, our own bridge?
Well, we didn't look at it as the residents, because there's several communities up there that benefit from this, but I'd be happy to go over with you or have staff talk to you about some of the things we've done as far as a local discount, and as well as for a user that crosses the bridge a lot and uses it daily, there are discount programs for local people. It's somewhat convoluted, or not convoluted, complicated to describe right now, but I would certainly be happy to provide that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. The Caius again. And as for Mr. Frost's language, I have never, nor do I intend to be, have ever intended to be insulting to our staff. So I think our staff does a great job, and they were assigned to do this. And of course, they've done the best they can at what they do. So my intention is not to insult anyone on this. My intention is to work together, and if we can, at some time, retire it sooner than when I'm 95 years old. Maybe I'll still be on the board. I can vote for that. I think Drew will be.
Well, it's only 5 years away, or no.
Great.
We'll definitely get you a plaque for longevity.
And,
Madam Chairman,
and I intend to vote no on this, and I invite those other board members to vote no as well.
Is there any other discussion?
Madam Chairman, this is Alan.
Yes.
I just wanted to thank Mr. Frost for the clarification on the 45 million. I was in some of those early community discussions that asked if there would be a sunset on this as opposed to what we see with the Illinois Tollway. And staff has always said that it could be sunset. But this is the first time that I've heard a breakdown, and I want to say thanks. If we hit that $45 million point, where there's $15 million set aside for the continued rehabilitation and renovation and all the things that bridges require, then we would be there. And I'm going to guess that our transportation staff could keep us advised as to how we're doing. If you remember, people were very concerned that people would use the bridge like crazy, and then lots of people were confused that we use the bridge not at all. So from 0 to 45 million is what we're going to be keeping an eye on, and it'll be interesting to see what the usage is and what money comes in and how close we can get to that 45 million goal and get rid of the toll. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
Ford, just a thought while I'm sitting here. I know there's a desire, and I have the same desire, to get rid of this toll as early as possible. Could there be any thought to using, this bridge could encourage a lot of development in this area. Is there any thought that we can put into maybe using some type of impact fees to help pay for the uses of the bridge? Not trying to get an answer now, but just as a thought.
Well, I guess the thought would be that the bridge is going to generate some new development and economic development, and more trucks will cross it and they'll pay tolls. So in a way, it's already doing that. But I think the fastest way to eliminate this toll is that we don't know what's going to become available from our state legislators over the next decade. And we could very well get a $10 million grant at some point, which will knock a big chunk off of it. So we will, our staff has been phenomenal at, again, $100 million already accumulated, but the well is dry at this point, so we have to pay for that last. But our staff is great at watching out for those things and grabbing onto them. And we can all lobby our legislators when these things become available, for example, another capital bill or something in the future.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Madam Chair, I have one more question. It comes.
Hold on a second, Mr. Shepro.
Yes. This question has been around so long that when it first came up, I had black hair. But I guess a question for Mr. Fraz would be, if the board were to vote this down, what would be the effect of doing that on the whole project?
Yeah, as I mentioned, the very first thing we'd have to do is cancel all our construction projects in the county and divert all those construction funds to paying the debt on this bridge. And, you know, I think we'd start with the districts that voted no, to sound mean. But yeah, we would have to cancel all those. And, you know, we're proud of how much economic development our construction projects generate through jobs and payroll and materials and so forth. So yeah, that's what would happen. We would have to.
Is it, if I remember, the bonds are also guaranteed by a county pledge of riverboat revenue as a backup?
I don't think. Say yeah. RTA sales tax.
I knew it was something.
Yeah, RTA sales tax, but you know, and I will say that, you know, this bridge is almost done, and when we say the bridge, we really should call it the Long Meadow project. It's 5 miles of roadway construction, and the bridge is 100% done. Everything east of the rivers or west of the river is 100% done and open, and everything east of the river is complete except for the one gap between Route 25 and the river, and that's well underway. So we're just about to close the last link in the chain, and open this thing up in the near future. And
Okay.
we need this tolling equipment to fulfill the plan to do this. So that's where we're at.
Ms. Gums?
I don't mean to drag this on. I do intend to vote yes on this with the caveat that you did say there's going to be some economic development. I do apologize because I cannot visualize the site. I've not been there. If we have new businesses that are, being developed in the area, is that a cost that can be onset onto them as they're going to benefit from the bridge in some way? That's my wheels are turning. Sorry if I kind of went off topic there, but
Yeah, we did a major intersection improvement at Randall and Longmeadow, and for about a mile or so west of that, and all those intersections are virgin open ground right now. So all that is prime development right now, and then we have a lot of big box warehouse opportunities also to the west there near Gilbert's and in that area. So it'll definitely bring some economic development.
Very good.
I'd
Yes,
just like,
Mr. Martin.
this is John Martin, I'd just like to make one blunt comment. To me, this discussion today about what we should do and can we deal with the toll and anything is like, it's like having built a house and sitting there the day before you're going to move in and decide if you should put glass in the windows. This is done. We need to, whether the decision was right, whether it was, and I believe it was right, but these votes have been taken. This project was done. This board has been committed to move ahead. And this is a prime example of something that ought to be done just as a matter of course. This just does nothing but provide for one small increment of the entire project. And we simply are not able legally, I think with our bond issue and everything else, to reinvent this wheel at this point in time and say we're going to start from scratch. We just need to get it done and move on.
Okay. Yes, and Ms. Wodecki, and in due deference to time, I think this will be their last comment.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Actually, I was going to, on Mr. Martin's note, I was going to call the question.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Please call the roll.
Okay, roll call. Ellen.
Ellen, aye.
Bates.
Abstain.
Okay. Berman.
Berman, yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Davis.
Davis, yes.
Ford. Yes. Fraz.
Yes.
Gums.
Gums, yes.
Iqbal.
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon.
Yes.
Caius.
Caius, no.
Copey.
Opie, yes.
Leonard.
Leonard, yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Molina.
Molina, no.
Sanchez.
No.
Shepro.
Shepro, yes.
Silva. Silva.
You're muted.
Strathman.
Strathman, no.
Surgis.
Burgess, yes.
Tepe.
Tepe, yes.
Weber.
Yes.
Wonicky.
Wonicky, yes.
And
passes.
Silva, I believe, answered, but I did not hear her.
Dr. Silva, did you vote on this?
Yes, I voted yes.
Thank you. That's what I needed. Still passes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 nays.
4 nays. Motion passes. All right, last item number 2159.
Passes.
No, 2161, my apologies, 2161. Authorizing an emergency purchase affidavit and budget adjustment for COVID-19 vaccination consulting services agreement. May I have a motion and a second to discuss and potentially approve 2161?
So moved.
By
Strathman.
Strathman, okay.
second,
Second by Ford.
Mr. Ford. Any discussion on this? Do you, Mr. Sanchez, do you want to lead this conversation?
Yeah, let me pull up on the agenda. So as I said earlier, we have been talking about, sorry, my computer is acting up. We have been talking about health department and how we market, and what that looks like right now is a bunch of people thinking we don't have anything going on because they're not getting the message.
Use your mic.
Use your mic, please.
Oh, is it not close enough?
Yeah.
Is that better? Yes. So we've been talking about the messaging from the health department and how we need to improve that. And as we see today, there are things to communicate. We do have a plan. It's a very solid plan that we are working furiously to enact. So with this, and I apologize again that there wasn't a little more heads up on this. I think we were all kind of busy in the past week with many things related to public health and in our private lives. And usually I would want to give everyone a little more information before a big vote like this. But what it is, it's hiring a person, an emergency purchase order to hire a marketing firm to work with us, the health department and our staff, to increase the presence, not only the presence, but the quality of our presence online, in print, and elsewhere, so that going forward, people are a little more aware of what Kane County is doing and not thinking necessarily the grass is greener everywhere else. Compared to other counties near us, we have a much smaller public health department budget. And that's something that has been a factor for over a decade, I'm told. So that is something that we have lacked in is getting the message out. Because before COVID, we didn't really need to. We had adequate resources to deliver whatever messaging we had, and we were working on things like with mental health and things that we were going to be unveiling before COVID hit. So this is a proposal, a firm called Tag Marketing. And it was recommended to us. My primary concern was finding somebody that is going to work well with a team, that isn't going to come in and say, here's what you need to do, even if we have some disagreements. It's somebody who wants to work collaboratively, but that has very solid knowledge and experience and results that can help us make this happen. So there is in the agenda packet, you can see the proposal from TAG. And you can go over that and just kind of look at what it is that he wants to do with us. And I say he, but I understand it is a team of people.
95,000.
So you can review that. We can discuss that as much as you want to know. Roger has worked really, really closely on this with us and has been a huge help in getting this put together. So I would direct more specific questions to Mr. Fonstock simply because he's been the closest to this. But otherwise, I think this is going to be a really great thing. Help us, deliver this vaccine program more sufficiently to the public's liking.
Maybe we have Mr. Farnstock just speak on behalf of this company.
Sure. Good morning. So you should have received a copy of the packet proposal that TAG has provided. They're a consulting firm that deals with marketing, advertising, and communications. So what we are looking at is how we communicate through the health department to the public. And I believe, Mr. Copey, you mentioned how do we communicate more, at an analog level or at a hand-to-hand paper level. We have Facebook, websites, everything that we do to try and explain when is the vaccination scheduling available, when are appointments available, making sure that we communicate that it's safe, it's effective, that people have access to it. All of those things are something that we charge the health department with doing, and yet we don't equip them with some consultants to provide them with the resources they need. So they're facing day in and day out, how do we schedule the appointments and get the clinical part of this set up, and then at the same time trying to do marketing and communications. So what we did was we looked at a couple of different firms that do marketing communications. TAG does marketing communications in the health field. They're working with several different organizations right now that are also dealing with COVID and vaccination. In particular, I just thought I'd let you know they deal with Illinois Critical Access Hospital Network. They work with the Society for Healthcare Strategy and Market Development. They also work with the Illinois Society for Healthcare Marketing and Public Relations. So they have a lot of resources that have experience with the healthcare industry. They're very well versed in our particular problems. They've been following along the last 2 weeks with me as we talked about some of the different news articles that have come out and how the county responds or doesn't respond to certain things and how we can help communicate more effectively with the public. So we've done this out of an emergency purchase affidavit, which is under the county code. And we also worked with Mr. Shepro to get the emergency purchase affidavit taken care of. The proposal is for 6 months. It's $95,000, and that's a not to exceed amount. In the resolution, you'll see that they're taking this from the special reserve that was set aside from the money we had from CARES Act last year that was carried over to the reserve fund. And we're asking for your approval of the $95,000 to be moved as well through a budget adjustment to contractual and consulting services within the technical services for the IT department. So this is a 6-month agreement with TAG. It's going to take us through the 6 months. Hopefully with COVID, we'll be closer to the end in 6 months. But it's contractual services. It's an emergency purchase affidavit not to exceed $95,000.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vonsack. Are there any questions?
Madam Chair, Surges here.
Yes, Mr. Yes.
Roger, could you redefine where the money was coming from?
Sure. So in the resolution, there's special reserve, and that money was the money that was basically set aside from the CARES Act last year and carried over into 2021 to a special fund. Mr. Onzik from Finance worked with us on how to transfer that through a budget adjustment in this resolution.
So in essence, we received money specific for COVID, and now we're spending it specific to COVID.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
To the point that was, I think, made earlier.
Could you please identify?
Oh, sorry, Shepro. I should have something that talks and says that all the time. This is not just a matter of wanting to, improve our image. I think what's been pointed out, what perception is often reality, and clearly out there, people don't understand what is going on, either what we're getting, how we're distributing it, or to the point that was made earlier, how certain classes of people who might be disadvantaged in how they access the information. So I think it is critical to do this. I'm sure we would all wish we had more time to do it, but I think this is, in fact, a genuine emergency. And we hope so because I signed the affidavit.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman Bates?
Yes, Mrs. Bates.
When we get our public information officer, which hopefully will be less than 6 months, how would TAG work with that public information? It seems like there might be some overlap. Is there a plan for that?
Remember that the public information officer is taking care of our entire county. So all of our departments, including yours, your committee with the environment, will also be assisting in the marketing and promotion of the good work that the county does. So it'll be a partner with, but this will be a specialty of dealing exactly with just COVID distribution.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Burren?
Madam Chair,
Who's this, please?
this is Mo Iqbal.
Yes, Mr. Iqbal.
Yeah, I want to supplement what Mr. Shepro said. I have 2 questions for Roger. Number one, the website asks the residents to register, and many people registered. I was one of them. We never got an acknowledgement back from this website, Kane County Health website. What happened to that initiation? We registered, what happened to it? We never got a call back. Number 2, we have this Kane County Connects, but looks like it is disconnected. It's not reporting anything, it's useless. And we are looking for hiring another firm when we have this connect. Why this is not being used for marketing? These are my 2 questions for Roger. Thank you.
Madam Chairman?
May perhaps, is this in relationship to that, Mr. Berman?
Well, I have a comment on the whole.
Oh, if you can, if we can just pause you for just a minute so that Mr. Fonsa can address Mr. Iqbal's concerns.
Thank you. This is Roger Fonstock again. So the marketing and consulting is going to work in cooperation with Kane County Connects, the health department, the board, obviously the PIO when we have a public information officer. As it relates to Kane County Connects, I believe Kane County Connects daily or at least every other day is posting articles related to COVID and our vaccination and response. So I know they had an article, I believe in the last day, even about how the county is getting the vaccine out and trying to provide some positive perception of what we're doing. So I don't think that the marketing necessarily replaces anything that we do with our regular newsletter. But when you look at how we communicate through different social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or if it's our website, or if it's even pieces of paper, flyers, bulletins, working with community organizations, all of those things, how we position our policies and how we practice what we do with the vaccination will be modified or adjusted to make sure that we're taking the maximum advantage of the time we have with people. A lot of the things that marketing will do for us will clear up our messaging. And so we do get the word out, we do tell people, we obviously have it on our website, but sometimes our message gets disconnected because of some small piece of information we don't put together quite right. So having someone as third party looking at it, watching what we're messaging will help us get the message right. It'll help us be better partners with other people in the county that are trying to provide similar services. And I think one of the big things that we talked about with TAG was communicating the safety and the effectiveness of the vaccine and trying to work with the community to make sure they understand that this is something that the community needs to embrace, that they need to do, because we do have some different clinical times when people have doubts or they're skeptical about taking the vaccine. And in order to get the vaccine working, you have to have a good penetration in the population. So that was one of the topics that we discussed. I just thought that's a good example of communicating. We talk about when is the next clinic, when do we do the next shots? And then you talk about, well, okay, it's important to communicate that, but also the people that say, I don't know if I want to take the vaccine. How can you convince me or tell me that it's safe and tell me that it's effective and I don't need to worry about it, so I should just do it? So some of those other messages that are kind of happening in the sideline need to be taken care of as well. And then also working with the board members and elected officials to get information that they can provide to their constituents or to their offices. We even have questions within our own departments and elected offices about how this affects them, whether they're going to be in 1B or 1C or things like that. So having this marketing materials together that are really targeted for Kane County, I think will be a big help. And it doesn't take away from Kane County Connects or the PIO. I think it's just a complement to it. And over the next 6 months, we'll have that service available to us.
Madam Chairman, Sturgis here.
Was there somebody else? I'm sorry.
Berman.
Sorry, Mr. Berman.
I think I'm really in favor of marketing, but I think our health department says they have a program, they have a plan.
Yep.
You can go online, you can find out so much information about COVID vaccine and where it's available and what you got to do to register and everything else. I don't think our problem is marketing. Our problem is we don't have enough vaccine. So as soon as we get the vaccine, all our problems will be solved. So I think if the health department has a plan, which they say they do, that all we need is vaccine to solve our problem, not marketing. So that's my opinion.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Davis with a comment.
Hold on, Mr. Copey's speaking.
This is Kopi, yes, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
In my neighborhood, we have an assisted living, a huge assisted living community. We have a retirement community. We have a disability community. And also out there, we have a senior citizens club that spans 3 towns, and we have And Hampshire Township is extremely active in their senior citizens cooperation. And so what I'm hearing and what I am seeing is that there is indeed a disconnect between how the information is attributed and accumulated and ciphered. I'm hoping that this thing is designed to funnel all those different venues into one focus point, and to where these people can finally be confident that they are led in the right direction, and that they can see that there's a potential for results. The fact that this is being paid for by CARES funds, this should be a no-brainer from a financial standpoint. And the other thing is well, that's about it. For the sake of time, I would, if we need a motion to pass 2161, I'd like to make the motion.
You already have that.
We already have it.
Oh, we have
Thank
a
you.
motion.
We already have it. Mr. Davos, thank you, Mr. Copey. Mr. Davos?
Yes, thank you. I shared Mr. Berman's, thought originally. I thought, why are we going to spend nearly, 6 figures for an effort that we've been doing? And the problem's not really that we're not providing information. The problem is that we don't have enough vaccine. But there is funding for it. There is a multi-pronged approach by a company that specializes in it, so that there's not just a single focus point. I know you were kind of supporting the idea, Tom, but it's actually multiple points so that everybody finds it the way they can do it. And most of all, the guy standing at the podium there, Mr. Feinstock, in all the years that I've been there, is batting 1,000. He's never, not once, come to this board with a suggested path to follow and that he wasn't correct. I have utmost faith in him, and if he's telling us that this is a good program and it's going to work well and get the message out to everybody in the best possible way, I believe him. And I'm going to be voting yes and encourage you to do the same.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If I can just make a brief comment, in the literature that was submitted for TAG, please note that we've got approximately 526,000 people, give or take, in Kane County. Out of that, which was quite remarkable to me, 410,000 people have a Facebook account in Kane County. So as we start targeting messages, if this meets with your approval, they're going to be targeted towards specific generational input. And we all know that oftentimes our young people who may not be able to get the vaccine as readily as people who are 65 are going to go visit their grandparents or talk to their grandparents and say, Grandpa, go get the vaccine. I hear it's safe. So there's going to be this opportunity to have multi-generational input on the quality and the need for the vaccine, and also to everyone's point that as the vaccine continues to be distributed, to assure our residents that the vaccine is safe and available to them and at no cost, because I've gotten calls about no cost. I probably get as you do, multiple calls as well as phone calls every day on the weekends as well about the vaccine distribution. So I agree. We can urge, as I have been calling our governor, to please get the vaccine out here as quickly as possible. We have all been urging that. We're on his doorstep all the time talking about it. And as it gets distributed, I believe this will help facilitate that message out. And also to encourage all those people who are reluctant. 30%, I read today, of our 12,500 educators who are just K through 12 are also reluctant to get the vaccine. So hopefully this will allow people to learn more about it in an easy format. so they won't have to search and question. It was an excellent suggestion.
Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
Excuse me, Madam Chair Ford. Thank you. If you look at their recommendation or outline, you can see clearly that this can't be accomplished by one officer nor by our Kane County Connects. So to me, this completes the circle of what we need to do to advance forward with what it takes to get this vaccine out and get the information out. So I really am strongly supporting this idea as soon as I heard about it, before I even got a chance to read it, because this is something that is really missing.
Thank you. One more.
Just not to further prolong things, but I think the concern about overlap, I would imagine, Roger could correct me, that this is a heavily front-loaded project. The whole point is that we don't have the luxury of finding a PIO, going through the process. I suspect it conjures up image of the train pulling out of the station and so forth. I would imagine it's a not to exceed, and while government is often skeptical of what that means, I do think that you're going to see the major effort is right now to what Mr. Ford just indicated and some of the others. So I too would enthusiastically support it.
Thank you.
And I'll call the question unless there's more comments.
You beat me to it, Mr. Shepro. I appreciate the conversation, but I was going to call the question, Madam
Okay,
Chair.
very
Thank you.
good. Lee, please
Let's
have a roll
vote.
call.
Who made the motion?
This is for 2161. Roll call. Ellen?
Ellen, I.
Bates?
Aye. Bates, aye.
Berman?
No.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford? Yes. Fries?
Yes.
Gums?
Yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, no.
Kenyon?
Yes.
Caius?
Caius, yes.
Copey?
Yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
Shepro, yes.
Silva?
Silva, yes.
Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Surgis?
Burgess, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber?
Yes.
Winnicki?
Winnicki, yes.
Passes?
Passes.
Noes.
2 noes. Thank you. We can move now into executive session. May I have a motion and a second to go into executive session to discuss settlement of claims and pending litigation?
Berman move for executive.
Ross seconds.
Second. And Fries, all right.
Please call the roll.
Ellen?
Ellen, I.
Bates?
Aye.
Berman?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Davis?
Davis, yes.
Ford?
Yes.
Fries?
Yes.
Gums?
Yes.
Iqbal?
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon? Gone. Caius?
Caius, yes.
Opie?
Hope yes.
Leonard?
Leonard, yes.
Martin? Gone. Molina?
Molina, yes.
Sanchez?
Yes.
Shepro?
May I ask the motion to be stated? What was the purpose of the closed session? What did it cover?
To settlement of claims and pending litigation.
Okay. I'll vote yes.
Thank you. Silva? Silva?
What? Yes.
Thank you. Strathman?
Strathman, yes.
Tepe?
Tepe, yes.
Weber? Weber?
Surges.
Key?
Burgess, yes.
Oh, thank you. I missed you.
Love you.
Weber? And Winnicki?
Yes.
Okay, passes.
We are now into open
Ready?
session. May I please call the roll?
Okay, this is for roll call. Ellen?
Ellen,
Bates,
Bates present.
Berman,
Berman here.
Brown,
Here.
Dabbist,
Davis here.
Ford, Fraz,
Here.
Gums,
Gums here.
Iqbal. Here. Kenyon.
Here.
All right. Caius,
Caius present.
Kobe,
Opie's present.
Leonard.
Leonard here.
All right. Lewis, Martin are not here. Molina,
Molina present.
Sanchez,
Here.
Shepro,
Shepro here.
Silva,
Here.
Strathman,
Strathman here.
Surgis. Surgis, oh, he's gone at 2, that's right.
he had a meeting
Tepe.
Still here.
Okay. Weber is not here, and Winicky. She's not here. Okay, you have a quorum.
We do have a quorum. All right, may I have a motion to approve the settlement of claim number 17 WCs 26079?
So moved.
Second by Fraz.
Second.
Yep,
approved
moved
by-
by Shepro.
And, yep.
Is there any discussion? Hearing no discussion, may we please call roll?
Okay. Ellen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davist,
Davis, yes.
Ford, Fraz,
Yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopi,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
Pepe,
Tepe, yes.
and that is approved.
Very good.
Burgess?
Surgeon,
Burgess he's gone.
Oh, okay, I just.
He's gone at 2 o'clock.
may I have a motion to approve the settlement of claim number 18CV6476?
Bates, so
So
moved.
moved.
I have Shepro moving.
And then Bates.
It's a second, okay.
Is there any discussion?
No.
Hearing none, please call the roll.
Ellen,
Allen, I.
Bates.
Bates, aye.
You know what, may I have clarification? Is this for the $1,000?
Yes.
Okay, okay, good. Berman,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davist,
Davis, yes.
Ford, Fraz,
Yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopi.
No.
Kopi is no, okay. Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
Shepro, yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
and Tepe.
Tepe, yes.
That passes.
And I believe we have one more settlement claim. May I have a motion to approve the settlement of claim number 18L5282?
Sure.
Gums moves.
Shepro seconds.
Is there any discussion?
What amount was that claim?
I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, what was the amount of that claim?
50,000.
50,000.
Yes, it's
50,000.
50,000.
That's
50,000.
the-
52,
that's the
321.
No, 50,000.
What was the exact claim
It's
number?
50,000, just flat
50,000.
50,000. The
50,000.
52,000.
Oh, flat 50, okay.
50,000. The first one.
That was the very first one.
Okay, I have motion by Gums, second by Shepro.
Any other questions, discussion?
This is the claim for the meals?
No.
For the shots overhead,
Oh,
warning
okay.
shots.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the
Okay.
third one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Ellen,
Allen, I.
Bates,
Bates, aye.
Berman,
Berman, yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Davist,
Davis, yes.
Ford, Fraz,
Yes.
Gums,
Yes.
Iqbal,
Iqbal, yes.
Kenyon,
Yes.
Caius,
Caius, yes.
Kopi,
Yes.
Leonard,
Leonard, yes.
Molina,
Molina, yes.
Sanchez,
Yes.
Shepro,
yes.
Silva,
Silva, yes.
Strathman,
Strathman, yes.
and Tepe.
Tepe, yes.
It passes unanimously.
Motion passes. I'd like to thank you all for hanging in there for this extended board meeting, and may I
To adjourn.
please have a motion to adjourn to Tuesday, March
So
9th.
adjourned, so moved.
How can you do that?
Everyone moves in seconds.
Kane and Bates.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thank you.
Madam
Good
Chair.
job. Good job,
Thank you.
everybody.